Pretoria, answer the call. Like it gone to sleep, Adam Gardner stand tall. In the harbor of Durban, the seal ships ride. The ANC plays a game of seek and hide. They call for the exercise in life the east wind, and point a paging and say they're the ones who sin. Joram was on the nest, I guess at the gate. Now they say who invited them, it must have been fake. Confusion in the Union building, shadows on the wall. Now the truth gets buried in the marble hall. Who is running the land? Tell me, who's in command? Is it the suit in the office or the gun in there? Oh, that from the Congo to the Pretoria street, the drums of the rock start to skip a beat. No books for the boys, no armor for the chest, but millions for the tenor of the boat take a rest. And she speaks of an inquiry, a code to be won, but the days turn to weeks and the paper is torn. No answers coming down, there's the heavy silence, while the heroes in the bush face no rebel violence. Set to the jungle with no wings in the sky, only 3 helicopters, how can they fly? No medevac coming when they let us for rain. Chased by the rebels, oh the pride and the pain. No uniform, no boot, no boots, oh wait, look at the budget for the big salute. P7, 2 million for retirement spree. Modern Navy is sinking beneath the sea. Not a submarine moving, not a sailor in sight, but the body lights are burning to the Pretoria night. The chief of defense, he's a law to himself. Yeah, commander of the Navy puts the stay on the self, defying the podium, ignoring the sir, while the ghost of the fly starts to wake and to stir. And what's this whisper? What's this dark news? The chairman tried with murder, and he's the one they choose. Promoted to the top, while the dockets go forward. Is this the new story that's being told? Who is running the land? Tell me, who's in command? Is it Siren? Is it Angie? Does Ronnie understand? Oh, from the Crown Hope to the Pretoria street, the drums of the ropes are to skip a beat. No boost for the boys, no armor for the chest, but million for the tenor on the moat. Take the rest. The generals are dancing, the politicians are glancing. The money is vanishing, and the soldiers are wandering. Who's the boss? Siren. Who's the boss? And King. The military's gone rogue in the sun.
Marvin Devine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Wow, folks, Titanic events unfolding today. We've seen, of course, that Trump has removed or lowered the tariffs against India. Big news there. Also in South Africa, news reports emerging a couple of hours ago that John Steenhuisen, leader of the Democratic Alliance since 2019, will not seek re-election as leader of that political party in their elective conference 2 months from now, clearing the way for Jordan Hill-Lewis, who is a front runner in the minds of many people, but not the only potential candidate to lead that party. What is going on in South Africa, folks? What is going on? Bit of a shock to a lot of people. Surprised, very surprised that this is actually happening. My goodness. I don't know what to say. Crazy. That is a big deal. Big deal for South Africa. Sorry, just trying to... Yep, Steenhuisen exiting the race amid leadership crisis. So newspaper reports picking this up all over now. Big news in South Africa at this hour unfolding as he steps aside. Mhlanga Commission is continuing today. Here's a poll. Let's see what the poll says. They've got a poll up in the Times Live. Should he step aside? And who should replace him? Well, that's a stupid question. 70% say Jordan Hill-Lewis should replace him. Interesting to say the very least, wouldn't you say? Interesting to say what's going on there. So anyway, crazy situation in South Africa as events unfold. So moving to the EFF, I don't think that's the case. I've just published a video. My moderators hopefully can spread that far and wide on Steenhuisen's resignation. Just edited it, just load up literally. And that's why we're 2 minutes late starting this program. I had to get it loaded. Yeah, so that's taken care of now. So anyway, hopefully that video will get some traction. We've had some slow ones here. Yeah, and lots of different reports coming in now from media. The Daily Maverick talking about this. Also IOL's talking about it. Yeah. So Rebecca Davis, she seems to be the grand dam of reporting over there at IOL. Or not IOL, excuse me, at Daily Maverick, not IOL. IOL, sorry. Daily Maverick, don't mean to mess that up. Well, so much for the Formula One. Kate McKenzie is confirming there's no Formula One coming to South Africa. We'll cover that story come up here shortly too. Wow. Crazy stuff happening. Crazy stuff happening. And I haven't even really delved into what's going on here in the United States. Savannah Guthrie, who's covering the Olympics, her mother's disappeared. No one knows what's going on. Her elderly mother, don't know if she walked out the door. What is happening there? That's pretty crazy here in the United States. As the Olympics are getting ready to kick off, in case you didn't notice, this is an Olympic polo that I'm wearing today. So there you go. You can see that the embroidered emblem there for Milano Cortina d'Ampezzo Olympics, along with the Olympic rings, and of course 2026 over here. Very nice. Also got myself a lovely hat too. Even though I'm not going to the Olympics, a little pricey, a little far away, and the timing is poor for me. Plus the events are spread all over the darn place. It makes it almost impossible to catch much of the Olympics this time around. So frustrating. When the Summer Olympics were in London, that was amazing back in 2012. That's the only Olympiad that I've ever been to. Yep. And the House is about to vote on extending the government and keeping the shutdown tamped down. Yeah. So I'm missing some news here. I'm just trying to find where it went. Is it over here? No, that's not it. Odd. Very strange. Must have closed it or something, not realized I closed it. Anyway, interesting. So, all right, it is Tuesday, the 3rd of February, 2026. And by the way, folks, don't forget that this weekend in Texas, we'll have our meet and greet. Looking forward to that. Very excited about it. A lot of people coming. Professor G will not be able to make it, but Lily van der Plas, John B., and Brandy Wells will also be present for it, so we're very excited about that. But we've prepared a special anniversary image for this. Okay, now why is my computer doing this again? You would think that Windows could index things better than this, but apparently it can't. That's unfortunate. So where the heck did it go? I saved that picture. Where's it at? Oh, I know where it's at. It's not there. My bad. Okay, I'm going to be over here. Here we go. So unfortunately, I don't look nearly as tall as I actually am in this image, but that's not it. Where the heck's it at? Okay, I'm confused. There it is. Okay. Gee, many crickets, took a little while to find it here. That's not it either. Where did it go? Oh my goodness. It should have been here. And it's not here. That's very odd. Huh. Oh, I know where it's at. I need to move it. My goodness, when pictures get messed up. Okay, that's where it's at. I just remember there's like 3 places it could have been, and the last one is the third one. Okay, there we go. All right, so here you go. This is for this weekend's meet and greet. By the way, it coincides perfectly 1 year to the day that President Trump announced the refugee program for South Africans. There you go. Anniversary Refugee Executive Order, 12 p.m. Saturday, February 7th, 2026, Abbott's Lane, Argyle, Texas. The Lone Star meet and greet, ladies and gentlemen. Looking forward to it. Hope to see you there. Unfortunately, the Viceroy of Greenland looks a little shorter than he actually is in that image. Not sure why he got shrunk down there. But, artificial intelligence, I really wasn't dressed up like that in the White House Oval Office. Trump looks a little nervous with me standing behind him there. Just a little bit nervous with me standing behind him. But, hey, that's the cost of doing business there, Don. Oh, my goodness. All right, so what's going on here? All right. Sloth Puppy can't make the meet and greet. Well, I didn't really expect you to be there, brother. It's a bit far from South Africa and very expensive. Also losing out on the Colorado folks. They found the flight to be more expensive than intended. Yeah, it's a side-eye look from the Don. I think he's a little intimidated by the Vikings that are standing there, the Viceroy of Greenland. Anyway, the 1-year anniversary of the event is this Saturday, one day after it took place last year. It was on a Friday night that this took place. It was a friends and family only Friday. And so, yeah, wow. Well, let's get to the big news for today. That'll come Saturday. So happy, excited for Chris and everyone attending the meet and greet, which can be there. Well, Ingrid, I'm looking forward to it. All right. What else? Almost looks as if you stood guard. Yeah, I was standing guard as the Viceroy of Greenland. The Viceroy of Greenland. So let's get to this news that some people really hear all about. And we'll talk about this. Hopefully the videos that I did today and yesterday keep going and get some views, because I'm getting a little frustrated at the lower number of views recently. But we'll see what happens. John Steenhuisen to exit the DA race amid leadership tensions. It took 4 journalists to write this story. Wow. All 3 of them are editors, so they've taken credit for Kohatso Madisa's work. Yes, DA leader John Steenhuisen is expected to announce his withdrawal from the party's leadership race. At least 5 DA sources confirmed that tensions within the DA have led to his decision. DA confirmed that Steenhuisen, who is the Minister of Agriculture, will address the media concerning matters of national importance and public interest on Wednesday. He'll do this in Durban. Insiders say Steenhuisen's withdrawal is likely to result in Cape Town Mayor Jordan Hill-Lewis contesting, and I think it will. There's a strong Afrikaans lobby that is unhappy with how Steenhuisen has handled the foot and mouth disease outbreak, and that has been mentioned as the final straw for his critics and opponents. Steenhuisen's recent clash with former DA finance head Dion George also fueled dissension, not to mention his credit card imbroglios. And don't forget, the funders can no longer defend him. He had too many issues, from Roman Kabanak, the issue around credit cards, the Uber Eats, his clashes with George, the foot and mouth disease, and now the racist policies dedicating the bulk of exports to the European Union from the agriculture sector to be only racist for black South Africans exclusively. Now, John Steenhuisen's goose is cooked, and that is the end for him, is what many people are saying. Will it be the case? We shall see. We shall see. I wouldn't hold my breath here, folks. Wouldn't hold my breath, but he looks like he's out. Looks like he is out. The damage has been done for a long time. And the arrogance. I gave Minister Steenhuisen an opportunity last year in April to get out in front of this disease. A fair opportunity. A fair opportunity, despite the fact that he and his personal assistant had promised me interviews repeatedly over the past several years and never followed through. I gave him an opportunity, a fair opportunity, to come on this program last year in April, when this channel had, 60,000 subscribers, I think, in April last year. Yeah, 50,000, something like that. 60,000 maybe. Gave him a chance to come on the program. I know, 70,000 by April. And he promised to come on the program, do an interview, then didn't show up. An event occurred over that weekend, so I was understanding. And I was told he would come on Wednesday, supposed to be Monday if I recall correctly, then Wednesday. And then he just didn't show. I wrote back, I got no response. Then I wrote back a couple weeks later, said, can we get him again in May? And then in May, he just didn't show up again. So he had a chance to get in front of this, but he chose not to. Too busy, dancing the night away in Phnom Penh. No, in Ho Chi Minh City, dancing the night away. Yeah. So anyway, he had his opportunity and he squandered it. Too busy making videos on channels with 17 views and 35 subscribers. But hey, his antagonism towards the media, he was always treated fairly by me, but I can't say the same about myself by Mr. Steenhuisen. DA forces push for Steenhuisen's removal over GNU support. The DA leader, John Steenhuisen's commitment to the government of National Unity has turned him into a target. So the IOL is trying to turn this into an anti-GNU story, with senior figures accusing him of defying the party's mandate and quietly maneuvering to replace him with an anti-GNU leader. Well, we'll see if that happens. I don't think that is going to happen. Yeah, make a song, Johnny, it's over. Yeah, Johnny, it's over. That's a good one. John, the party's over. I'll do that after this. The party is over. Well, it might be premature, but we'll make the song. Sources across the Democratic line say Steenhuisen's support for the GNU has triggered a coordinated pushback from a Johannesburg-based cabal and influential leaders in Cape Town who view the unity government as a betrayal of the party's core position. Steenhuisen chose the GNU because he is about transformation. Others want their own person at the top, and they want out of the GNU. John is all about unity and stop listening to anti-transformation forces. Another source said he's accused of defending the coalition even when it cuts across with the party resolved. Congress is shaping up as a heavyweight battle with Western Cape Premier Alan Winde and Cape Town Mayor Jordan Hill Lewis, along with Sully Malatsi as challengers. Now, I don't think that Winde will win. I don't think that Malatsi has a constituency. Jordan Hill Lewis is the person a lot of people are mentioning up front. But interesting to see the IOL try to turn this an anti-GNU story. If it's anti-GNU, why did it take 18 months? No, it has everything to do, ladies and gentlemen, with the Uber Eats, with the final straw, the Uber Eats, the foot-and-mouth disease, which DA leaders and backers have ignored for a long time. Not to mention the EWC, Bella, the black tax. The list goes on and on and on. This is a complete dumpster fire. This man is a dumpster fire of epic proportions. He's a disaster. He's the man who's ridden the DA to its death spiral. It's in a death spiral right now, just like the ANC. And they're deluding themselves about their blue wave. Yeah, the blue wave is goodbye. Hello, bye. That's your blue wave, saying goodbye to you. Goodbye. That's what the blue wave is. Oh, I heard, you say he's going to be the new CEO of Uber Eats. I don't know about that. Yes, but to be fair, Heidi Holdstock, John, I said that when he took the position. I said that clearly in June of 2024. I said that clearly. I said that was a mistake. I also said this was a mistake for Peter Groenewald to do it. And Peter Groenewald did it for a while, and then he stepped aside. You cannot be the leader of a party and a minister in the cabinet. You have conflicting constituencies. As a minister in the cabinet, you must be loyal to the president, to the executive, to execute their policy. And that policy oftentimes will conflict with a coalition partner. You cannot be a minister and the leader of a political party. You must stand for your political party, for its platform, for its constitution, for its manifesto, for its voters. You must stand for the DA voters. He didn't do that. He didn't do that. He became little ANC, Mr. ANC. He's not alone. Dean McPherson is also in that boat. He's also one of those people. Yep. Leader of the pack. Hardly. All right. Please do the song. Oh, CCR vibe. Yeah, but the problem with that is when I write Creedence Clearwater, it blocks it because it says I'm not trying to use that band. I'm just trying to give that sound. Yep. A 60s vibe. Okay. Mini ANC party formerly known as the DA. Yep. Merlot wants me to make a song. Well, I will make a song. If he wants to interview now, give him the cold shoulder. Well, unless it's within the immediate aftermath of him resigning or it's not stepping forward, what value would it be? He's had his chance to come forward. The guy just talks with a split tongue. Cape Town mayor won't be a great replacement. Yes, I agree. He's also a woke leader. No, Westhouse, no disagreement on I agree 100% with that. Yep, nothing against Jordan Hill Lewis, but he's also woke. Anybody coming from the party that's in the Western Cape is not going to be the answer for the DA. Nobody. Yep, nobody. Yes, Stephen Ray Green, I'm aware that the Rugby World Cup schedule is out, and it sucks. It absolutely sucks. It absolutely sucks. Would you guys like to see my plan for the Rugby World Cup 2027? Now, these plans aren't firm. They are, they're always in flux. Would you guys like to see it? Oh, we have a troll. Who's the troll? Would you like to see my plan for the Rugby World Cup? Oh, is it Ronell's birthday? So let me get to that very quickly here. Birthday for her. So we get the birthday cake up. Yes, do share. Okay. Coming up with birthday cake. Here it comes. Happy birthday. Which Ronell is that? Ronell Lowe or Ronell or Wirebird? Which one is it? Okay. Now, the problem is that, if you're putting all caps in, you're going to get deleted. I don't see all caps as someone must have taken out already. Very simple rules. Richard Lemmer, DA is going to bleed votes in Freedom Plus. The WhatsApp groups about service delivery is already asking DA councilors, should we start voting? And me, yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, Wirebird's birthday. Well, Ronell, she is a rock star. Ronell Guns. Yeah, she's a rock star. She's fantastic. One of great supporters of the program. Been with us for a long time. Happy birthday, Ronell. What are you, 27 this year? Are you 27, Ronell? Come on. You don't ask ladies their age, but are you 27? Happy birthday to Ronell. Wow, February 3rd. All right, okay, so here's my... Okay, look, now this isn't how it's going to shake out. First off, I may not be able to get tickets. They're probably too expensive. I have to make a decision. With Australia being a continent, you have to fly, and flights, there's discount airlines, but, so this is just a rough plan. And what it does is it gets me to every Springbok game, which is the priority. And then from there, I get to any game that I can get that's reasonable, either in the same city or close by that I can drive to that's that time frame. Does that make sense? And then during the week, I spend my time enjoying the local area. So this is just a rough plan, okay? Just a rough plan. And my plan will no way necessarily match out this way. But this is how I do the World Cup. I always look at these, and then I try to get as many teams as possible, as many countries. Now, of the 24 teams, this plan lets me see 14 of them. 14, including Americans, and of course also the South Africans. So this plan gets me as many places as possible, but requires flights. I check for feasibility on all these flights, and it does work. So let's just show you how detailed. Now, the Ministry of Agriculture has no plan for foot and mouth disease. This World Cup schedule was announced yesterday, and I already have a tentative plan on what I will do next year, 18 months from now. Do you see how leaders do things? All right, how logisticians plan. Let's go ahead and bring this up. Let me find this. Oh, I didn't save this as an image. Okay, let me save this as an image first. Okay, or can I just do it this way? Okay, there we go. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so you guys ready for this? Okay, so here's the plan. I'm going to talk you through it. Okay. All right. So here are the locations: Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide, Newcastle, Townsville, and Perth. Okay, that's where the Rugby World Cup is going to be conducted. Nothing in Tasmania, nothing in the way up north except for Townsville. All right, so with this plan, I get to see Argentina, Fiji, France, Georgia, Ireland, Italy, Japan, Portugal, Romania, South Africa, Spain, USA, Wales, and Zimbabwe. Now, necessarily, as a consequence of this, I have to buy the cheapest tickets because this is a lot of money and I'm not wealthy. So I'll buy the crappy seats that sit up really high, but let's hope they don't charge a whole lot. Okay, so my first games would be in Adelaide on October 1st, Wales versus Zimbabwe. That's pretty cool. I get to see Zimbabwe. Okay, what's going on here? All right, I'm sorry. We need to stop for a moment here. What is going on? I need to see what's going on over here. Okay, are the moderators keeping a track of what's going on here? Heidi Holdstock, thank you for the super chat. Oh, the alert box is off. My apologies. It was because I was doing an interview. Okay. All right, mods. I'm trusting you. I'm trying to focus on the news. We don't need turds in here. If someone's misbehaving. And misbehaving includes starting fights with other viewers. All right, I don't see where that was. But Keep an eye on it. The children have to show up and try to cause her nonsense. Okay, I did see one message delete. I don't think it was necessary to delete, but that's okay. All right, back to what I was doing there. Okay, so. Righto, here we go. Okay, folks, so back to the story. So, starting out in Adelaide on the 1st of October, Wales versus Zimbabwe. Pretty cool against Zimbabwe. South Africa versus Italy on the 2nd. That's driven by the fact that South Africa's there. So that would be my first port of call for the Rugby World Cup. I'd have to arrive, obviously, before the 1st of October because I have to get there. The flights go to Sydney or Melbourne, not to Adelaide from overseas. So then the next stop will be Newcastle on the 3rd. So it's like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Fiji versus Spain. I will have seen 6 teams already. Thank you for the 14 mods are on fire. They got you, Colonel. Okay, thanks. All right. So Newcastle comes next, and that will be Fiji versus Spain. Then from there, it's a flight to Brisbane, and that's on the 9th of October, France versus Japan. The 10th, South Africa versus Georgia in Brisbane. From there, it's correction. 3 October, Fiji, Spain, and then drive from Newcastle to Sydney on the 4th, and it's Ireland versus Portugal. Then hang around Sydney for a few days, check out the Opera House and other things. Then fly to Brisbane because there's a 5-day gap in there between Ireland and Portugal. That'll be my only game in Sydney. Up to Brisbane for the 9th, France versus Japan, the 10th, South Africa versus Georgia. And then from there, Brisbane back to Adelaide for the 15th of October, Japan versus USA, and Argentina versus Fiji, which is listed on the same day, but the schedule they made shows it on 2 different days. Either case, it'll work out. And then from there, Adelaide fly across the continent to Perth for South Africa's final pool stage game, South Africa versus Romania on the 16th. Now, the problem here is that this involves flying. So wherever I land, Sydney, I have to fly to Adelaide. That's 1 flight. Then fly to Newcastle, 2nd flight. Then fly to Brisbane's 3rd flight. Sydney to Brisbane, 3rd flight. Brisbane to Adelaide, 4th flight. And then Perth is the 5th flight. I won't get to catch Melbourne or Townsville. They'll stay outside this plan. But that gets 14 teams. It's the most feasible. This is a very difficult World Cup because of the distances and also the way they've scheduled this. And finally, the fact that they've increased the number of pools means the teams only play 3 times in their pool. 3 times, which kind of sucks. 3 times. You usually get 4 games. There's only 3 this time around. So that really messes things up. But still, 14 teams, and of the 7 towns, I would get 5 of the 7. So not too bad, eh? What do you guys think? So unlike the South African Ministry of Agriculture, I have plans, and I make plans well in advance. So that's 18 months away, and here we are already almost 2 years away, actually, because October will be October, November, December, January. So that's 20 months away. 20 months away, and I already have plans. Now, that plan will change a lot over time based on ticket availability, based on what I can afford, based on what's reasonable. But there you go. There's a plan. There's a plan. Well, Lynn, that's actually only 9 games. My peak is 18 games at a Rugby World Cup. I caught 18 of the 40 pool stage games in one World Cup. But that's doable in England. It's doable in New Zealand, but it's not doable in Australia or the United States. So, I have to look at diminishing returns for Rugby World Cups and enjoy the few games I get to go to much more. Don't forget trains, cost-effective and easy between Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane. I hadn't thought about that. Hadn't thought about trains in West Coast, but I'll see if they're, thank you for that. Appreciate that. 35 Rand. I'll take a look at that, but we're way out. So Japan was fantastic. Things were far apart, not like they will be in Australia, but in Japan, I could buy the rail pass, which was expensive, but much cheaper. I did the math on the trips that I took, the number of times I was on the train with my 3-week pass and my 1-week travel pass. And those trips would have cost me about $15,000 to buy those tickets outright, each individual ticket in Japan. But my rail pass cost me, I think, $1,600 or $1,700, and then another $600 for the other week. And so I paid a little over $2,000 for what would have cost me $15,000. Now I spread that cost out over a couple of years. So, yep. All right, there you go. So nobody seems excited by that. You said, show me your stuff, show me your stuff. I showed you my stuff, and nobody's saying anything. Nobody's saying anything. Thank you. Is it Heidi? Who is it? Thank you for the super chat. And Ali Chevelle just gave 140 Rand. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Is that a super sticker? It's a super sticker. All right, cool. I missed the early super chats. Well, okay, maybe I missed the early super chats. Let me just go check them out. I'll go check out super chats now, so I'm all caught up before we get back to the news. Super chats. Thankfully, YouTube lets you see these. Okay. All right, so, oh, I did miss a few, apparently. All right, so Henny Visa gave a super sticker with the Ramaphosa running fast thing. Teresa Mostart said it's -5 degrees in the Netherlands. Okay, Teresa, I'm curious what you're doing in the Netherlands. That is chilly. Mark Myberger says, with regard to foot mouths, he just hopes some hothead farmer does not lose it and do something stupid. Well, I agree. That would be bad. And then Merlot says, make a song. It's over, Johnny boy. It's over, Johnny boy. I use that. Let's see if that's a title. It's over. Like Danny boy, old Johnny boy. All right, and then Heidi Holtstock gave a thumbs up super stick for 70 Rand. Martin from the Best Toys and Mods are on fire. They got you. I saw that 14. Martin says, don't forget the trains. Okay, what did I miss other than Teresa? I think I missed Teresa. It was only one. So we're caught up on the super chats now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 that have come in the stream. Thank you for that. Right, back to the stream. Okay. Colleen, how's it going? Gordon, too late. The it's finished. No comeback. It had been captured by ANC. Yeah, I think you're right about that. Can I accept that you will get an Oz visa? They're not known for fair issuing. I don't need a visa to go to Australia, Lucas. United States citizens are allowed to enter Australia without a visa for 90 days. I don't need one. Yep, unless they change their laws. No news on Afrikaners landing last night. I have no updates from anybody that got here. All right, what else we got here? All right. Turns out Zoom is in the Epstein files. Yes, Omnisted. I've been reporting on that for days. Yep. Also spoke about that on news. Business. And Colleen says, thank you for the great interview with Theo. You're very welcome. Thank you. Very welcome. It's too hot today where I live. Getting excited about any news makes me sweat. Okay, James. Yeah, well, it started snowing here this morning. Very light flurries, not much to it. All right, moving on with that same story. What happens next for the DA? John Steenhuisen steps away. Well, obviously, Jordan Hill-Lewis is going to try to run for the position. Multiple sources confirm Steenhuisen will announce on Wednesday he's not seeking a third term as party leader. And I don't think it's going to break anybody's hearts. This guy was a disaster for this party. An absolute disaster. Musi Maimane was a fresh breath of clean air by comparison. A fresh breath of clean air. Yep. John Steenhuisen. Surrounded by supporters, Steenhuisen can announce what is effectively his resignation in a way that projects dignity and strength rather than defeat. He can remind his KZN power base of how his political career began canvassing door to door in the DA in Durban and reflect on all that has been achieved until this full circle moment. But what has been achieved under John Steenhuisen? Before we continue with the news, let's ask that question. What exactly has been achieved by John Steenhuisen? Somebody want to tell me? Is the DA stronger than when he took control in 2019? No. The DA actually lost votes. John Steenhuisen Democratic Alliance got just 3.5 million votes, whereas Musi Maimane's DA got 3.6 million votes 5 years earlier in a smaller voting base. Helen Zille got 4,004,000 votes for the DA back in 2014. 2014, she reached the zenith for the DA. Since then, they've done this. Under John Steenhuisen, the DA has stood by and done nothing about expropriation without compensation, the Basic Education Laws Amendment Act, the Black Tax, the Employment Equity Act, the European Union agricultural deal prioritizing black farmers over all other farmers in South Africa, his Uber Eats deal, his credit card bill, his party credit card being rescinded, the imbroglio over Dion George and Willie Okamp, the sidelining of Emma Powell and Andrew Whitfield, the abuse of Ronaldo Cruz by what appears at this stage to becoming a party that's in chaos or is corrupt. Which is it? Or is it neither? Is it just a public appearance? The media have been very friendly to the DA ever since it got into government national unity. Yes, that's correct. I am talking about your white agricultural minister. Yeah. So what exactly has Rebecca Davis says all that's been achieved? I'm sorry, Rebecca Davis, not attacking you, but I am asking the question, what exactly is the Democratic Alliance achieved under John Steenhuisen? Anybody in the chat, please tell me. I'm happy to listen. Maybe I missed something here. Maybe I missed something. But what has happened to the Democratic Alliance? The mayoralship that the DA surprisingly won in Howick in Umgeni was all the work of Chris Pappas and his deputy and his team. They did that, not the DA. They achieved that success there. So what else has been done? Have they recovered Port Elizabeth? No. Have they recovered Johannesburg? No. Do they have control of Tshwane? No. What has the DA accomplished in the 7 years that he's been there? Please, somebody, let me know. I would love to know what it is. Anything. Anybody. McFly? Somebody got an answer for me. What is Megan? I'm not going to show Benny Johnson's. Tell me what that is, monster. What exactly is going on? Oh, I guess she's saying that that Epstein didn't kill himself. I mean, is that what that is? I can't show that video. I'll get a copyright strike. DA sunk down the Mariana Trench. Exactly right. They created the doomsday collision. I don't know if he'll quit his job, Martin. That's a question as minister. The DA achieved nothing. Zilch. They've gone backwards. They've backtracked. Yeah, no, Charles. Chris Papa's been sidelined. Why? Because he's articulate, he's attractive, he's appealing, and he appeals to lots of people, especially Zulu. You can't have that. Steenhuisen doesn't appeal. He doesn't appeal to any Zulu. Yet he's from the same province. Raymond Mguni, Trinity. Welcome for your subscription. Thank you for joining the program. Still vote DA for local government, Nelson Mandela Bay. I like Retief Odendaal. Retief Odendaal is a brilliant individual, an honest person. Yep, Retief Odendaal should be the mayor of that town. Absolutely. They want to increase property tax in Pretoria. Okay, fulfilled all the ANC's master dreams. Yeah, there you go, just another girl. You can buy bulk train tickets. Okay, Greta Hart. You're talking about in Australia. Thank you. Julius Mayer tried farming. There was this whole article. Yeah, exactly. But when his farm collapsed because he's an idiot. DA locally in J Bay is amazing. Our mayor was on the front lines fighting fires the other day. Well, that's fantastic, Andre. But that's a rarity. DA just showing they're part of the ANC. Imploded so far into Steenhuisen. DA has fallen. Yep. Crap, I'm late again. Listening to the kitchen while cooking. The only thing Steenhuisen gave us was hope, only snatched away with his inaction. Yep. All right. That's Iceman. What's going on? All right, so back to the story. The national minimum wage, before we get to that story, let's take a poll. So I took a look at the poll, and there were only 200 votes, so it's a very narrow poll, so it's hardly indicative of what should be done here. But here's their poll. Jordan Hill Lewis, Helen Zilla, Emma Powell. I don't know what the DA will convince, what? Anyway, that's the choice. So let's... Yeah, sorry, I bumped the microphone. That's okay. Thank you. Got you. I was typing up the poll, so there was nothing for you to hear. That's why I put on mute. I know the mic is off. I realized all along the mic was off, so I could do the poll. You don't need to hear me writing in a poll. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Yeah. No. Catch up. You guys are behind. Yeah, he's trying to silence the stream. No, I didn't need you to hear the profanity that I was spewing as I came up with names over there. I was trying to. Yeah, I know you can't hear me because I didn't want you to hear me because I was using profanity. That's funny. Mike didn't die. I turned it off. Snippets, thank you for 14 Rand. Hey, Peter McCabe, what's up? Okay. All right, so not one of them, the sound of silence. All right, there you go. So there's your options, 98 votes. It isn't who you want to be the leader. It's who you think is going to be the leader. Okay, it's not about who you want. It's who you think is going to be the leader. That's what that poll is. The next leader will be not who you want to be the leader. And you don't have to be a DA supporter to vote for it. Just who do you think will become the next leader of the Democratic Alliance if Steenhuisen steps away? All right, that's what the question is, okay? And there's enough space to write that full question out. That's why I did it that way. Anyway, let's see what the Times Live poll, let me see if I can update it. It was only 200 votes earlier. Let's see if more people have done it. DA will convince, they're going to convince him to stay in the race. I doubt that. View results. Let me see. All right. So this story has been up since 2 p.m. South Africa time. 2 p.m. That's 4 hours. Let's just show you how unpopular the media is in South Africa. Times Live, after 4 hours, almost 5 hours having this story published, has just 219 people who voted for this. Just 219 people voted in this poll. I bet you I can get more votes next 5 minutes than they got. And here's the story. He eyes a third term. This is a story that just ran recently, January 23rd. Look at that. 3 months ago, he's given a strong indication that he wants a third term, despite damaging allegations of party credit card abuse. So 219 votes. We have 156 votes in 2 minutes. They have 219 after 5 hours. I have not heard about Emma Powell. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Emma Powell. I mean, her phone, I don't know if she changed her number, what's going on, but I've been told that she's okay, but I've had no contact with her. She went in silence, so let me see if I can, I'll try, but I doubt this even her number anymore. Yeah, I haven't heard from her since October. Yep, so I'll send her this anyway, and hopefully she gets it, but I doubt it. But I haven't heard from her. Anyway, yep, she went silent. So anyway, I suspect she's keeping a low profile, or she may have been told by the DA leadership that if she comes to my program, she'll be kicked out of the party. I wouldn't be surprised. Ernst von Sale says there are many iron laws in history. Do not invade Russia in the winter. Never start a land war in Asia. Do not alienate the Afrikaners for the leader of the DA. Yep. James says, I vote Emma Powell because she's beautiful. Monster Max says, Emma is fine. I don't even know where Emma Powell's at. Yep. We're putting her on a milk carton. I saw it, Yano. You obviously haven't watched my video. I talk about that in my video. That's, here it is. Have I seen it? Yes, I've seen it. It's in my video. I don't know what the hell he's playing at here. Like, he thinks he's like Truman, like he's going to come back. But here it is. Yep. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., I'll make an announcement of national importance. Until you see me outlining the full set of facts, avoid speculation. So that clause in that sentence, outlining the full set of facts, also kind of implies that he is out, because he's going to say that I'm leaving because I have to focus on my health or my family situation, or the president has asked me. You watch. The president has asked me to focus on agriculture because of foot and mouth. I can no longer be leading the party. I have to step aside from that and take the role of just taking care of foot and mouth. You watch. You want to guarantee it? Who wants to lay money on it? That's what Johnny's going to say tomorrow. For the good of the nation, I've decided not to seek re-election as the leader of the Democratic Alliance, as I must focus all of my attention on foot and mouth disease. The President of the Republic, my dear leader here in the ANC, the leader of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, has asked me to devote all my time to foot and mouth disease, and asked me if I could step aside and let someone else lead my party. You watch the full set of facts. That's the full set of facts coming out tomorrow. I guarantee it. You want to bet? Yes, of course I have an email, Tyler Mostart. You must be new to the program. Folks, please, mods, please put the email address up. But I get thousands of emails every day. I'll answer it as best I can, Tyler. What is it about? Oh, yeah, well, he should be fired for underperformance. It's a disgrace. ANC t-shirt. Yeah, take Johnny to Vile Water. Matthew hopes I'm wrong. I now have to eat Uber Eats with my foot and mouth. That's terrible. My goodness. Next high up would be Wendy or Jordan. Yep. One thing I will say is ANC will never step aside from running South. They're not peaceful. Well, we'll see. Yeah, no, Yano, I did do a video on it. Well, Rob Hersoff puts all his videos now, for the most part, on the Truth Report. Maybe that's where you saw it at. By the way, I was on the Truth Report yesterday, for those who didn't see it. Let's see. Was it yesterday? Let me go see. I don't know. Maybe a couple days ago. Maybe a little frustrated with Truth Report. Thank you for 35 Rand there, Nick Muller. Super chat. Clouds are gathering. Ta-ta. The clouds are gathering. Actually, a little bit of snow was falling this morning. It was just light flurries. Let's go ahead and get to... Wait a second. Am I back to what? Oh, yes, finally. Here we go. I need to get to Truth Report. Truth Report news. Okay, Ronaldo's got a schedule for 2:30 this morning, my time. Well, I'm going to have to be up late tonight. That sucks. Thankfully, it's not the day I fly because I fly the next day. Whew, David Scooby taking the easy way home. That's interesting. All right, so 2:30 my time. So that's early. All right, so I go to let me just show you. So here, my video was just published on the Truth Report. Let me show you how this comes up on my screen. So Truth Report. They show the Rubin Report. They show the Truth Report Rob Hersoff 6 days ago, the Rubin Report 7 days ago, the Truth Report 3 months ago. Do you see my video on there? Julius Malema, Rob Hersoff. Do you see my video? Nowhere. This is why it gets no views. Look at all these Truth Report videos, and mine's not listed. Look at that. And these aren't all large views. Some have almost no views. Earl Musk, Rob Hersoff. Not once. There I am down there, but that's when I was in this conversation with all these guys. 41,000 from a month ago. So you can't even find my video on the Truth Report. You have to go to the channel. It isn't even promoted. This is evil. And now you look here, for you. Do you see my video here? No. I don't see my video once. Not once. How do I find my video, which was just published on the Truth Report? Let's go to videos. They should be in chronological order. Oh, here it is. 1 day ago. All the way back here. 6,000 views. Because it's hidden. Wow. Why bother?
Helps a lot.
Oh, they put an ad in there too.
Residents of Shwanee and for folks in general, is the city still able to do business with this company, with this organization, even though they want to blacklist them? Are they allowed to stop paying them? Are they allowed to stop dealing with contracts?
What is this crap?
Or avoid
Read the full
doing
article.
new contracts? Or do you have
That's
to actually
new. That wasn't there
officially have
before.
them blacklisted in order to stop doing business with them?
So Tswane no longer does business with Edwin Sodi and his company called Blackhead Consulting, simply because this happened a few years.
So, I mean, look at that. That's just nonsense. I mean, what's the point? You know, people don't publish this stuff. Anyway, back. So let me get that to my audience if anybody wants to watch it. That's where that is. Now, you're top on Truth Report, Garrett. Well, not for me. Not for me. I see the video got notification from YouTube. Well, not me. Guy, you're way behind. There's no problem with the sound. That was a while ago. It was intentional. 247 votes. I already have more votes in 9 minutes than the Times Live has on their poll in 5 hours. That's why I'm hated in South Africa by the elites, because they can't compete. Despite the shadow banning, they can't compete. Isn't that sad for them? 1,000 views on that video. So, 1 dislike on the John Steenhuisen video. Isn't that a shame? Isn't that a shame? Anyway, whatever. By the time it's published, it's old news. What's that? Dion Oliveira says Jordan Hill-Lewis should go to Joburg and Helen should run for president. Interesting. Because you're the black sheep between the wolf pack, they'll tear into you without giving a second thought. Let's call it African diaspora. The DA's left it, and you realize I never said they weren't left. What are you talking about, Tricks? Are you a little behind? I've always described the Democratic Alliance as a leftist political party, left of center. Always, always. That's who they are. I've never denied that. I've identified them as such for a long time. Right or wrong, that's who they are. That's their DNA. Anyway, back to the news. How are we doing over here? We've got 579 people currently here, 371 likes, and a little bit of super chat revenue came in too. Thank you all for that. Back to the news. Okay, Steenhuisen. All right. So the national minimum wage in South Africa has risen above 30 rand per hour for the first time. Wow. That is $1.80 an hour. The national minimum wage will rise above 30 rand per hour for the first time when it changes to 30 rand 23 cents on March 1st. Minister of Employment and Labor Nkonkosazana Meth, that's a weird name, announced the new national minimum wage on Tuesday, representing a 5% increase. Did he increase revenue to farmers and to restaurants and to people who hire domestics? Did he increase their revenue so they can pay that 5%? Or is he just taking money out of people's pockets? Gate McKenzie has announced bad news for South African Formula One fans. Anne-Marie Nell, are you here? Anne-Marie Nell, are you here? LMM, who's the Ferraya that you're referring to? This channel's quality information should already have 500,000. Oh, I should be well past that at this stage. Yep. Power Technical says, I can't even see your video under the videos tab. Well, slide to the right and see if you can find it. Yep. So, Gate McKenzie confirms no Formula One in South Africa for the near future. Well, that's heartbreaking. Contrary to his previous statement, South African Minister of Sport, Gate McKenzie, says Formula One will not be coming to South Africa. There are 24 races for the upcoming season, the same number as last year. The Kyalema Grand Prix circuit was already begun a costly process to upgrade its track. It's a little more complicated than simply having a venue that can host the event. These upgrades will cost $5 and $10 million. The proposed F1 upgrade, which notably requires no change to the circuit layout, focus on enhancing runoff areas, barrier systems, debris fencing, curbs, and drainage. Wow. When asked about when South Africa could host an F1 event, McKenzie told ENCA next year, definitely not. We have underestimated what is required to host the event, but F1 has held our hand, but now we've got the experts and we're putting together a bid they can't refuse. Okay. Sure. Let's see. So much for Formula One coming to South Africa. Shame. The Southern Sun and the Public Investment Corporation pick up a $1 billion Sandton property. Wow. They're buying the Sandton Convention Center. Who's been there? Who's been the Sandton Convention Center? I have, like 100,000 times. Not that many, but many times. The hotel operator Southern Sun announced that its partner Pareto and itself have agreed to buy a controlling stake in properties, including the Sandton Convention Center, for 1 billion rand. The deal will see Southern Sun and Pareto, managed by the Public Investment Corporation, each take a 50% share in the portfolio of assets currently held by the Standard Bank's Liberty Group. So once again, we now have a private sector investment being taken over by the government, which has proven to be inept and corrupt. So the Public Investment Corporation is a state enterprise, and it now controls half of the convention center. The Sandton Sun is not part of the deal. The Southern Sun already operates the Sandton Sun, the Sandton Towers, the Garden Court, Sandton City, and the Sandton Convention Center on a long-term lease and management for Liberty and Pareto. Crazy. The Shillanga commissions are continuing in South Africa, the corruption in the police at the highest levels. No news to report on that, however. United Kingdom's Keir Starmer faced a backlash over his China trip amid claims that he was tricked. Of course he was tricked, because he's a sucker. Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch accused the UK Prime Minister of adopting a supine and short-termist approach to China. That's a very good description of supine. Conservative former Security Minister Tom Tugendhat raised the issue of Chinese sanctions on British parliamentarians after Starmer announced that all restrictions have been lifted on current members. Former Conservative leader Ian Duncan Smith, Senior Deputy Speaker Nusrat Ghani, and Conservative former Minister Neil O'Brien were among those banned from entering China in 2021. So the Labour Party is bowing to the Chinese communists. There you go. Not surprised. Tens of thousands flocked to the streets to support the Czech leader. They're present amid a cabinet dispute. A large rally was held in Prague, showed support for Czech President Peter Pavel, who accused the country's top diplomat of blackmail. The row centers on Pavel's refusal to appoint a controversial candidate as environment minister, who said some racist and homophobic commentary, apparently. Butterfly refugee, thank you for the 35 rand. The clouds are gathering. But the profits of Formula will far exceed any cost because of high value racing in the name of bringing billionaires. True, Mark, but it will never happen. Not with the current government. It's falling apart. Mexico has announced that it is an enemy of the United States. We've long known this, a country that facilitates the invasion of America by criminal aliens, its nationals, as part of the Reconquista racist effort to steal the Southwest, which was won legitimately in conflict and or purchased from the government of Mexico. nearly 2 centuries ago. So their effort to undermine our national unity, and now they're just publicly coming out and saying they're enemies of America. That's right. Mexico's president, Claudia Sheinbaum, has put her foot in her mouth and said that Mexico pledges to send aid to Cuba despite U.S. efforts to cut oil. The move from Sheinbaum comes after Trump signed an order threatening tariffs on countries that sell oil to Cuba. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum has pledged to send humanitarian aid this week to Cuba and said Mexico was exploring all diplomatic avenues to be able to send fuel to the Cuban people, despite efforts from Washington to cut off oil to the Caribbean nation. Now, Washington's made no such effort. They've just threatened to do it thus far. So let's get our facts straight there. Donald Trump last week signed an executive order allowing the U.S. to slap tariffs on countries sending crude oil to Cuba. And on Saturday said that Sheinbaum had agreed to halt shipments of oil at his request, a claim she later rejected. We never discussed with President Trump the issue of oil with Cuba. Well, apparently her English isn't very good, or Trump's Spanish is bad, one of the two, whatever the case is. Well, the earliest wooden tools created by Homo sapiens, or humanoids, hominids, has been found in Greece, dating back 430,000 years. This story from the University of Tübingen in Germany by Stephanie Baum. The international team has discovered the earliest known handheld wooden tools used by humans. A study jointly led by Professor Katarina Harvati of the Seckenborg Center for Human Evolution and Paleo Environment at the University of Tübingen and Dr. Annemieke Milks at the University of Reading describes discoveries from the Maratossa 1 site in Greece's central Peloponnese dating back 430,000 years. Published in the journal PNAS, the finds consist of two objects crafted and used by humans, one made of alder wood and the other of willow or poplar. The objects represent the oldest handheld wooden tools ever found, pushing back evidence of this type of tool used by at least 40,000 years. Other finds of stone tools and remains of an elephant and other animals indicate that the site, once on the shore of a lake, was used for butchering animals. The site was used by early humans around 430,000 years ago during the Middle Pleistocene, a period from around 74,000 to 129,000 years ago. The Middle Pleistocene was a critical phase of human evolution during which more complex behaviors developed. The earliest reliable evidence of this targeted technological use of plants also dates from this period. Wow. A functional end. The pink highlighted area shows where the wood was cut. Workstones and mode artifacts from the site highlight the skill and diverse activities of people who once lived there, so the research team took a closer look at the associated finds made of wood. Unlike stones, wood objects need special conditions to survive over long periods of time. We examined all of the early wooden remains closely, looking at their surfaces under microscopes. We found marks from chopping and carved on two objects, clear signs that early humans had shaped them. Wow. They identified two wooden artifacts which had been worked by humans. A small piece of an alder tree trunk shows clear signs of having been shaped, as well as signs of wear and tear. The stick was probably used for digging at the edge of a lake or for removing tree bark. The second very small piece of wood from a willow or poplar tree shows signs of working and possible signs of use. The third find, a larger piece of alder trunk with a groove pattern, had been clawed by a large carnivore, possibly a bear, and not shaped by humans. The oldest wooden tools from places such as the United Kingdom, Zambia, Germany, and China include weapons, digging sticks, and tool handles. However, they're all more recent than our finds in Greece. There's only one older piece of evidence of wood used by humans from the Colombo Falls in Zambia, dating 476,000 years ago, yet that wood was not used as a tool, but as a structural material. Oldest wooden tools known to date. Interesting. Inquiring minds want to know, but apparently not the audience, who all left. What the hell's going on? Oh, it's 12 o'clock. I'm being betrayed. People went elsewhere. That's fine. Watch whatever content you like. Thank you for being here. Those who left. And those who stay, appreciate you staying. House Representatives will likely vote to avoid this shutdown continuation. And NASA delays moon mission again. Yep. House Republicans will likely vote to reopen government and brief shutdown. The House expected to vote in a Senate-approved government funding package after divisions in Congress over changes to the Department of Homeland Security prompted partial shutdown. Barring a mass exodus of Republicans, the bill is likely to pass. The package passed the Senate 71 to 29, but it'll be much closer to 218 to 214 in the House. President Trump threw his support behind it. Passage would mean most of the government will be funded through September 30th and would set a 13 February deadline to fund DHS or shut down that department. Wow, that's crazy. Where's the NASA story? There we go. NASA delays Artemis 2 after issues with rehearsal. NASA said it was delaying its mission to send 4 astronauts to journey around the moon. Shortly after 2 a.m. today, NASA announced it would forego February's launch window for the Artemis mission around the moon, which extended from Friday through February 11th to allow teams to review data and conduct another wet dress rehearsal. Wow. So when will it take place now? March? It's not going to happen in February. That sucks. We've been waiting for Artemis for a long time. Let's see what happens. Well, we have 300 votes in the poll, so I'm going to close the poll now, which is much more than the Times Live had. All right, so the poll has ended. All right. Looks like a stick to me. Well, you have to look at it under a microscope. You can see clearly that it was shaped. How many of us would be able to make tools if we got stuck in the wilderness? How many of us have made tools in the wilderness? Yes, now I remember that this is correct. I just forgot when South Africa was still a functioning independent nation. Okay, all right. 1440s Neanderthal insults. No, those are before Neanderthals. Saturday, our tickets have been canceled because of medical alert service dog. What? I thought it was taken care of. Ooh, my message. Okay, well, I won't mention that. Okay, interesting. Wow, that's fascinating. Interesting. Interesting. That is sad news. I don't understand what happened there. And also, I don't understand why these idiots don't sort that out for you, Leon. A lot of effort was put into getting that sorted out. Okay, I'm just trying to save something before it disappears on me, in case somebody deletes their contact with me. May I read the circumstances here, Leon? Can I read the circumstances? Is that okay? I'll be careful not to disclose anything that's personal. No, NASA doesn't have a Star Force. Okay. All right. So they canceled their flights, and they were supposed to fly today, I think it was. You sent this 4 o'clock this morning. I didn't see it. Sorry. Remember, I get hundreds of messages. It gets buried down there, so it didn't jump out. They've just canceled our flights just because they only now realize that we're traveling with Service Dog after we sent multiple emails and received confirmation of reception and noted it. Now, after all that, they say, sorry, the information was not sent from their side to the resettlement agency and they've not prepared to receive a Service Dog. At the interviews, they took note and said that we will accommodate him. At the medicals, it was noted. At orientation, I asked, and they say I mustn't worry. If I told them, they will accommodate him. 2 days ago, I sent them a mail to tell them we've made all the arrangements, it's all set. That is when they noticed for the first time that we have a service dog. They say it's not a pet-friendly accommodation, which is where you're going, which by law is not required for service dogs. And I told them, if need be, our friend close to our accommodation will be willing to assist us with all the dog-related things like food. They just kept saying because it wasn't prepared on that side, they simply will cancel the flight. Then she put me through to her superior, who sternly repeated everything to me. You're not flying out tonight. The U.S. CIS official at the gathering point was very helpful and understanding. He was also shocked that after all the correspondence, communication, confirmation, there's no problem, that they have not followed the right procedure to have a service dog in the program. The official will personally investigate and let me know tomorrow what's happening. For now, we're also one of those who are just hanging. All right, Leon, hopefully you have some place to stay tonight. It's evening and you're sorted. If not, let me know and we'll jazz up the Wyatt Army. Okay? Let me know. If you want to tell me right now, if you don't mind, I'm sure people here would be willing to help. We've got 500 people currently watching the program. Somebody's got to be either in the Cape Town or the Gauteng area, wherever your flight's at, that can provide at least emergency accommodation for you overnight. And maybe this will be sorted tomorrow. You never know. I'm not sure it can be sorted that quickly, but just let me know. See, this is what pisses me off. These are not entitled people. Leon is not asking for anything. She's identified this from the very beginning. They have a service dog in their family. Okay, all right. You're sorted for now. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. If this becomes extended, Leon, you need to let me know. Also, don't waste your money on food. If you wind up staying a week or longer, save those resources for when you get to the States. You'll need that money. All right, but this just pisses me off. And this is the problem. Why do they identify a case officer in the States and then don't give them the information about your family? That really is so stupid. So stupid, so annoying, so wrong. Yeah, that's just so messed up. This happens a lot. Some people have gone to the airport and had their flights canceled for one stupid reason that wasn't coordinated. It's really annoys the hell out of me, folks. It really does annoy the hell out of me. Yep. DA must not collapse, says Tricks. Okay, if you say so. But how are you going to stop it? They're collapsing all of their own volition. So when this is over, you guys will get redirected to Ronaldo, but I would appreciate if you go watch my video. That's the video I released earlier about Steenhuisen. Anyway, that's terrible. South African passport information webinar, South African Chamber of Commerce. This webinar will be providing detailed guidance on the renewal passport application. Well, that's good. So for those who are curious about how you renew your passport in the States, okay. Freedom Front Plus looking more wholesome by the day. Yeah, I think a lot of people agree with that. Well, Donald Trump says Republicans should nationalize elections. This is very dangerous. This is concerning. He said Republicans should nationalize voting at least 15 places. President Trump said Monday that Republicans should nationalize and take over voting at least 15 unspecified places, reiterating his false claims that U.S. elections were marred by widespread fraud. And of course, that's an opinion, Reuters. You're wrong. There were widespread fraud. We've had multiple cases of fraud reported in that election. In a podcast interview with his former deputy director, Dan Bongino, he continues to claim that the election defeat was a result of fraud and gave no details. Referring to immigrants, the president said on Dan Bongino's show, these people were brought to our country to vote. They voted illegally. And, amazing that Republicans aren't tougher on it. Republicans should say, we want to take over. We should take over the voting at least 15 places. Republicans ought to nationalize the voting. No, that is not right. That undermines the federal system. You're right. We've saved a little bit of money for when we arrive there. I'll keep you updated. Please do, Leon. I can get food to you within a day or two. I just need to know where you're staying or what the address is. I can get food to you. Now, as long as you have the facilities to cook, it'll take care of you, okay? It'll take care of you. It's food socks, and we've had a generous donor who donated more than was spent initially, and we'll get to the point where we're spending more money than that. But in the meantime, Food Socks and Carl von Blair have been fantastic, so we can take care of you in that respect. This is not a soup kitchen. We're not feeding the world. We're not feeding people who are poor. We're not feeding people who are rich. We're trying to help people who get screwed like this. You need to save your little bit of money for when you get here. Every penny when you get here, you need. I mean, look, Fonz intended to come visit the meet and greet. He's going to fly from Colorado to Texas, but he needs that money for his time in Colorado, not to come see me. So, Expats Penn says can help out in Cape Town, but I don't know where she's at. I don't recall where she's at, Cape Town or Joburg. James has got to run an errand. Okay, James. All right. All right, so there you have it. So Trump is saying we should nationalize it. I don't agree. The payment to the active military and to the reservist, the Liberty payment of $1,776 is tax exempt. Now, I feel a little blindsided by this because I served 36 and a half years and I didn't get a penny. Special payments to more than 1.5 million Americans won't be taxed, according to IRS. The $1,776, a figure that honors America's 250th birthday, will be sent to active duty and reserve members of the U.S. Armed Forces. The Warrior Dividend. It'll amount to $2.9 billion, a one-time basic allowance for housing supplement for all service members in grades 06 and below. 1.28 million active duty service members to the rank of colonel or Navy captain. Another 174,000 reserve members who are eligible as long as they run active duty orders. Payments are not taxable. Federal law specifically excludes from gross income a qualified military benefit. Yep, but nothing for veterans. No, our service doesn't matter. All right, broken arrows in Gordon's Bay. Yep. So this is another one of these leftist fake news sites, and it misleads people. Army veterans forced out of Republican town hall as crowd erupts. Representative Mike Lawler, a swing district Republican, faced overwhelming anger at his own town hall meeting. That may all be true, but they say the Republicans were kicked out who are veterans. Tonight, Lawler had 2 U.S. veterans removed for demanding that he actually answer constituents' questions rather than grandstanding and gaslighting us. As a retired VA social worker, this is shocking to me. Of course, that's a lie. They were removed for shouting profanity and screaming and disrupting the meeting. So, you don't get to be a veteran and act like an ass. You get removed just like everybody else. Simple as that. Simple as that. But that's not what the left wants you to know. They want to lie to you. They want to lie to you and gaslight you. Yep. Anyway, the House will vote on reopening the government through February 13th. Everything will be open through the rest of the year except for Homeland Security, which will be the 13th February. $1.2 trillion package would fund the Pentagon, Department of Labor, Treasury, Health and Human Services, Education, State, and more through the end of the fiscal year. It also temporarily fund the Department of Homeland Security through the 13th of February. Some House conservatives initially signaled that they plan to oppose the package in part because they believe the government agreement undermines ICE's efforts. Representative Anna Paulina Luna of Florida, a veteran, said she would not vote for it unless it included the SAVE Act, a bill that would require proof of citizenship and register to vote. Interesting. Interesting. So there you have it. There's the news for today, folks. Thank you all for being here so far. Appreciate it. We get live over there. Whoop, alle soort dingen vind ik uit voor jou, Bossico. Okay? None of the South African expats in Denver knows about your channel. Really, Fonz? How is that possible? Shadow banning. Did you tell them about it? Ask them to watch it? Wow. Leon. Oh, you're close to Somerset West. Okay. Well, there you go. Gordon's Bay. Who just said they were in Gordon's Bay? All right. Somebody just said they were in Gordon's Bay. Who the hell was that? Disability is not taxed in America. I get a disability check. I'm not taxed on that. Broken Arrow is in Gordon's Bay. Broken Arrow, can you send me an email so I can put you in touch with Leon? Okay? You're close by in Gordon's Bay. All right? Gordon's Bay, Somerset West. Same damn place. All right, there we go. So if you could send me an email, put the email up for him. Oh, expats sent it too. Okay. All right. Looks like we got some help. All right, guys. And don't feel bad if we don't get taken up on this offer, because this happens unfortunately far too often, and I need help with other folks. Some of you have palatial mansions, some of you live in hovels, some of you can accommodate people, some of you can't. So, but some of you can also just lend a place where it's safe for a person to hang out for a little bit too. All right, cool beans. You're welcome for the news. Yeah, the Wyatt Army is an awesome bunch of humans. Most of them are, Krista. Most of them are. Ben is leaving. Wife looks after Navy. That's shocking, the treatment they get for serving their country. Amazing gentlemen. Shylock, thanks for answering last night. I did answer. I think you retired for the night. Yeah, I probably did, Shylock. I mean, I went to bed at 2:30. I was answering emails until 2:30. Went to bed and fell asleep and got up at 6, I think. Macedonia says Steenhuisen never led the party. I think he led it to a disaster. Yep, that's my thoughts. Maybe I'm wrong. All right. Yeah, so let's see what else you got here. You're welcome, Mark. What do I miss in the chat? A lot of people saying they're leaving, announcing their departure. Okay. I already got that. So the final vote was Jordan Hill Lewis 35, Helen Zilla 29, Emma Powell 21%. Wow. That's a surprise. I was surprised that 21% of you think that Emma Powell will be the next leader. That would be very bold. I think she's probably too young. She's also a little woke, but she's a lovely lady. She's also honest, and that's probably what's needed more than anything else. Honesty. Wow. That's pretty cool. Wow. Okay. So I got a bunch of other WhatsApp messages from people here I don't even know. I got someone calling me all the time when I'm live broadcasting. I mean, honestly, if you're calling me when I'm broadcasting, you obviously don't watch my program, so you shouldn't be calling me. It's inappropriate. Martin said it just looked like a stick. Well, it did look like a stick. Now I know what happened here. Moderators, you're missing things you should be catching. Will we increase the minimum wage, force them in the tax bracket? Nope. Nope, they won't be paying taxes. South Africanization UK continues. A boxing legend statue was stolen overnight. No, I didn't see that, Shylock. Thanks for sharing that. Each wage increase resulted in domestic gardeners being let go, and they have get employed in several homes now. Laws protecting if they get injured or crippling their employers. Yep. Honey Badge Farm, thank you for subscribing. Probably because of my video, not because they're watching this. What else? What else? Kim Kardashian. What is this? Oh my goodness. You know what? That's... Man, just don't learn. Just don't learn. Oh, damn it. Freaking thing crashed. I'm so sick of this browser. So sick of it. I don't know, ridiculous. I can't get to anything here. It keeps crashing. Thank you, Vice. Hi. A white shark. Thank you for that. Oh, damn it. Okay, so I've taken care of that. Thank you for subscribing, or becoming a member, I should say. Yeah, now I can't even see if I'm live. It's stupid YouTube. Well, it's not YouTube's fault. It's Firefox. They screwed up Firefox royally. Don't know what the hell they did. Pissing me off. Dogs that fly to U.S. from South go manifest cargo. Well, service dogs are different. Service dogs are a little different. I'm not sure, you know, what the deal is there. Yeah, Trick says she would be shark bait. Yeah. Why you mentioned? Okay. We're still not live here, showing me. Anyway, as far as I know, I'm live, though. I have to come over here now and pull up this thing. This is so annoying. YouTube. I keep blaming YouTube, but it's not YouTube. It's Firefox. What the hell happened to Firefox? I'm going to have to stop using Firefox if I can't get their crap together. Yeah, it's not a pet, exactly. Not a pet. Okay, I'm live. I can still see it over here now. I had to go into the browser and actually watch the damn channel because it's not loading in my studio. Expats, bye. Take care. Yeah, make Firefox great again. I think that'd be a great mission. Make Firefox great again. I agree with you, Andre the Giant, 100%. What does dinner look like? What's my favorite? My favorite is Indian, followed by seafood. Salmon, crab, shrimp, scallops, which I haven't had in years. Yep, I don't like oysters, mussels, no shellfish. Nope. Yes, some airlines let them in the cabins now. Yes, that's true. Depends on the size of them, too. Yeah, but the problem with Firefox is it updated and it screwed everything up. Well, if it's a site script, then Shylock, then it's YouTube is the problem. Also, why is Firefox pulling this crap on me? Whenever I look at, let me show you my dashboard. Okay, so look at my dashboard. Check this out real quickly here. This has been going on for about a month and a half. Do you see over here the latest video performance? Look at the thumbnail. It shrinks up like that. I don't understand that. Why does it do that? Nothing I can do. I refresh the page. It comes up for instantaneously, and then it goes back to small size. See? Look at that. Do you see that happen? That's annoying. Why does that keep happening? What is going on with Firefox? On one of my previous flights, I sat in a row with a bunch of open seats and was asked to swap the lady that had a service dog because the people sitting next to her was unhappy that she had a dog. Wow. Kaspersky has the Russians have a browser. I have Opera, I have Brave, I have Chrome, I have Vivaldi. I have them all. But none of them have the attachments and things that I rely on, like FlagFox and the Fox clocks and the screen capture and all that. All right, everybody's abandoning me now. What's going on? Okay. Not everybody. Some of you are. I have no idea who Angus Bookin is. Why are you guys talking about that person? I have no idea who that is. Still hasn't loaded. Here, look. This has been now, what, 5 minutes? So eventually I had to reload. Look at that. No one there. Look at that. Just spinning and spinning and spinning. So I have to open up the browser so that I can actually see what's going on in my studio. So see, I can wave to myself. Yeah, let's see. And now I know, but I'm several seconds behind the browser. Oh, there you go. Just waved to myself. Scurvy in the UK. Wow. That's surprising. That's one reason why the British sailors had to have citrus around the world. I never had this problem with YouTube until recently when they're doing that. It's a new thing. I don't know what the deal is, why it does that. Very frustrating. But I mean, you're trying to find out if you're live. You know, it's not good to not know you're live. That's why you got to be able to see things. Medical alert: service dogs or working dogs are alert our daughter a couple of minutes before she would faint because of medical condition. Also alert for blood pressure spikes and dips. Oh, your anxiety. Okay, Chisigi. All right, hang in there. We need to chat? Oh, scabies. Ew, scabies is nasty. Very frugally, we built, the people around us tore down houses and built mansions, and their bills were well over $10,000 per month. Oof. Never heard of Angus Buchan. Never heard of him. Clearing your cache and files. That's a headache, yeah. Yeah, Neil Debris. Hey, Large Sky. Been a while. We definitely have a field day with John Steenhuisen. How my video doing? Let's take a look at that. Still hasn't come up yet. Let me see. Yeah, it's been up for an hour plus. 2,700. It's actually below my normal pace right now. It's not doing very well. The announcement of Steenhuisen is going to be gone. So, yeah, I'll probably do a live stream of his press conference. No. Maybe I know him. I just don't recognize the name, guy. Maybe that's it. Trippy, it's not unusual. Shylock is off for dinner. All right, well, where are we at here? Yeah, like I said, I may know who he is and just don't recognize the name. I mean, it's possible. But YouTube will do that. It will do that. It will not give you notifications. It's frustrating. I never get notified of Ronaldo's videos, of Morning Shot. None of them. Wow, I had a surge, 7,000, 11 o'clock when I published that video, but it's slowed down now. So, yep. Anyway. Roundtable organization. I know the Knights of the Round Table. Other than that, I don't. Okay. They made a movie called Faith Like Potatoes. Broken Arrow, 35 Rand. What are you laughing about, Broken Arrow? Yeah, I got it, guys. You all keep telling me Faith Like Potatoes. I haven't watched the movie. What did Martin hear as a rumor? Yeah, no, it's crazy. Leon, I really feel badly for you. And people went to bat for you to get that fixed. It sucks. It's, you know, all that coordination. It just shows you how broken this system is, bringing refugees over here. The World Cup schedule is cool. Is it really? I don't know if it is. So let me show you. So this will be the least number of games I've been able to attend since New Zealand in 2011. But New Zealand was few games because I was supposed to go to Chad and I got diverted to Germany, and then I couldn't ask for take a holiday. I just got there. And so what happened was that they rearranged my division, and I went from being in charge, because I was a lieutenant colonel. You can't have lieutenant colonels in charge. I went from being in charge to being the deputy, and my boss was an 06 and I was an 05. And she knew nothing about Africa and didn't want to be outshone. She's like, oh, you could take leave. So I took advantage of it and I went to New Zealand. But after the World Cup had already started, so I missed the early start of it. And the night that I arrived was the night that Ireland beat Australia. It was like 15-9 or something like that, or 15-6, something like that. All kicks. Yeah, so I spent 2 weeks or a little over 2 weeks in New Zealand. So that was, I went to, I think, 8 or 9 games. So this will only be 9. So this will be the lowest number I've gone to since 2011 because Australia is just not very friendly for this. So here's what the schedule looks like. It's maybe hard to see the yellow on there, but you can see what I did is I took the pools and I put a red line through the countries that are currently not able to see based on my initial plan. I won't be able to see New Zealand, Australia, Chile, or Hong Kong in Pool A. In Pool C, I won't be able to see Canada. Pool D, I won't see Scotland or Uruguay. Pool E, I won't see Samoa. Pool F, England or Tonga. So that's who I won't be able to see. I'll go to Adelaide. 4 of my games, half my games will be in Adelaide. Then 2 games in Brisbane, 1 game in Newcastle, and 1 game in Perth. Now, I haven't looked at the knockout round. I might stay a little bit longer for another week to do the knockout round so I can catch a few more games. But it's not going to be easy because I can catch 2 more games. If I stay for 2 more weeks, I could do maybe Brisbane and then go down to Sydney for 2 games. Or I could do, yeah, anyway. So, yeah, there's 2 games in each venue for the first knockout rounds. Yeah, so anyway. But I'll have to look and see who's got what pools I'm interested in. So the South Africans are in Pool B. So if the South Africans come in Pool B, I'm not going to see them to the next round. So anyway, yep. Pool B, D-E-F-B. There's B up there, and B is in Melbourne. Well, I'm not going to go to Melbourne, so if they wind up there, yeah. D1 versus B. Oh, that's B3. So where does B1? They should come in first in their conference. B1, where do they play? They don't have to play there. They go to the next round. Yep. Anyway, yep. Crazy stuff to figure it out. Oh, it'll be miserable too. Exactly that time of year. Yep. So anyway, that time of year it will be miserable. Yep. Still hasn't come up yet, this stupid thing. Brian Cordero, thank you for 35 Rand. Townsville's way up there. Sounds like the KZN North Coast the last 2 weeks have been hectic. Yep. Well, that's the other thing too. This will be summertime. Summertime. Because of where we're at. It is summertime in the Southern Hemisphere when this takes place in October or spring anyway. So, yep. Right. Why don't we wrap it up here? You can be directed to the Ronaldo live stream from this if you'd like. And then also, don't forget I'm flying Thursday, so we're going to have an interrupted schedule there. My news won't come at a regular time, but I will give you updates from airports as I fly. Yep. So that's coming up in just a few days. So thanks, guys. By the way, I did sell my hockey ticket for the game that was on Monday night. I did manage to sell it. I lowered the price, and I paid $140 is what I paid for it with the fees, and I sold it, and I got $85 back. So I lost $65. Yeah, but at least I got something back. But I haven't gotten it because the stupid, ticket shyster won't send me the damn, deposits in my account. It's frustrating. Yep. All right, guys. Take care. Thanks for being here. Have a good day. Be well. And we'll catch you here next time. Okay? All right. Thanks a lot. You'll be taking to Ronaldo's channel, but please watch my video about John Steenhuisen. That'll be interesting. Okay? All righty. Cheers.